What's poppin', everybody? This is the cartoon kid Ray Rawlins, and today for our new segment called New This Week, we're reviewing an episode of Infinity Train, season 2, episode 1, called The Black Market Car. Now, this serves as a first impression, I suppose, for the both of us. Me more so than Alex, because Alex binge watched the first entire season, and I haven't. This is the first episode I've seen of this series, and I suppose as a little first impressions or a little prelude, I think it's all right, honestly. And I'm definitely gonna be looking forward to watching some more of this. But before we get into this review, Mr. Alex Payne, give us that breakdown, man. What happens in this episode?
Well, in this episode, this continues. I wouldn't say necessarily continues off from where the last season ended, but it has a thread connected to that. This one follows um, Tulip R, who is Tulip's reflection from the original series or original season, I guess. And she's evading the I guess you could call them mirror police who keep reflections in check, who don't want to follow their I guess what would you call that, host, I guess, they
I
who don't want
suppose
to
so.
follow the the lives of their host. So when they go rogue, these police go after them. So she's they're chasing her down in this episode, and she eventually ends up in this I guess in this sort of like forest in one of the cars, and she befriends a deer, and it's when she runs into the protagonist of the season, Jesse, and them two are arguing over who the deer in this forest belongs to, and the deer gets pulled down this hole, and that's where the episode ends. It's gonna continue in the next episode, I imagine, but yeah, that's where this one leaves off.
Listen, like I said, actually coming in this 100% blind, not knowing shit. I gotta say, I like how they had their little explanation of what the whole Infinity Train is about and whatnot, and how they can get off if the number on their hand reaches zero. And it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat, honestly. It's a different taste of cartoon. I'm definitely gonna go back and watch the first episode of this series because this episode has me intrigued. I'm not gonna lie. It definitely has me
Yeah,
intrigued,
because
especially seeing these people chase after this kid. Man, I feel bad for him or her rather. It's like, man, yeah, you're in some shit, aren't you? But go ahead.
yeah, because like you said, I binge watched the season today actually because it's 10 episodes and they're 10 minutes each, so you could sit down and finish that in about, I would say, what, 2 hours maximum. You figure?
Yeah, yeah.
So, but the first season, in my opinion, was really really amazing. Like it's really really great ass shit, and I think now obviously because this is like this is partly and serialized stories, obviously, but I kind of not. So I'm saying that to say, in isolation, this episode is pretty good.
Right. Yeah, because it goes from episode to episode. It's a story that
Yeah,
carries on. So and you know what? Now that you mention that, because I kind of thought about it when you said that deer fell down that hole. I'm like, oh wait, okay. Yeah. So this is a story that continue on. It's episode based in a sense. So
yeah.
and that's why I fuck with it. I like shows like that. I really do. I love shows like that. But let's get into standout moments. What are some of your standout moments in this episode?
When I think the fight scene at the beginning was really cool. I
Oh
like
no, it
the
definitely was.
listen, especially when one of the friggin' cops, like, when she ran up, when she was like, I think she was on the top of the car, and one of the cops just friggin' come and hit her with that full on judo slash
Oh
Naruto
yeah.
move. He grab her by the arm,
Boom,
just fling her over and
boom,
slam
just
her.
freaking slammed her ass. I'm like, damn, y'all motherfuckers relentless. Yo, yo, that dude was showing no remorse.
But
But go ahead.
uh, that and I listen. I may sound like a bitch to the audience for saying this, but the scene when Tulip R when she first met the deer and was like, they was having their little moments and bonding and shit. I thought it was kind of moving. I don't know why. I feel like a bitch saying that, but it was kind of
Listen,
moving.
you know what?
I think
As
it was the
odd as it
music and
sounds,
shit, man.
no,
And
and yeah, that probably had to do something with it too. But it's just like it's cool to see like a child befriend an animal. Like I don't know why that's always like it's like their little pet. You tell they're gonna go a long way. Throughout the series together. So she was, she looked at that deer as her. Who was? Oh, there was that kid who was arguing over the name of it. Could want to call the deer
yeah,
Dracula. I'm like, oh, come on, man.
and it's
What did
funny
they?
too
What did they end up
because
naming it? I
um
forgot. Oh, Alan Dracula.
yeah, well
Alan
it got
Dracula.
well it got taken away before they could truly decide. And honestly, I love the whole because now we got to get into because this is a very because they even say it like in the friggin' in that little video thing they had at the beginning. This train is basically um I guess you could call it therapy for your issues in a way.
Oh,
Because that's basically because the more you improve yourself, that's how your number goes down.
right, right.
But
And that's good. That's good. That's pretty cool. I like that. I like that concept.
yeah, but what I'm saying that to say I love the whole portrayal of like the trust issues and and desire for independence that Tulip R was showing, and then she like how she ended up getting trapped. Well, not trapped, but like falling for the dare, I guess. And then when Homeboy come up, she was like trying to pretend that she didn't want the dare, but at the same time did, and was getting really
Right,
pissed at him for trying to put labels on it because she thinks the dare should be independent and all that other shit.
right.
So I just like the portray I did like the portrayal of trust issues, I guess, on her part.
Oh yeah. And the beer that I was gonna say the beer. The deer didn't want her to leave, yo. He was not playing. He was like he freaking tripped her ass up. He's like, no, I'm stop trying to make me stop walking or whatever the hell. That deer was not going. But I guess we can squeeze in the reviews here, or positives and negatives. I gotta say my main positive is, like I said, I mentioned it before. I don't know anything about this series. Okay, I'm not
Hmm.
an Adult Swim watcher per se. I'm more of a Nickelodeon kid, and I don't even watch Nickelodeon that much uh anymore. Anyway, it's like I only watch like SpongeBob from here and there. But I just really seeing this really wants to make me get into not Adult Swim, but Cartoon
Cartoon
Network
Network.
cartoons or Cartoon Network as a whole, regular Cartoon Network and Adult Swim. Honestly, like I'm a grown man, 22 something years old, but I love me some cartoons. Okay, and my brother does too, and I'm surprised he doesn't watch that more. But anyway, this episode, I guess you could say, is a decent introduction to the series, if it were to serve as that. Like I don't know anything about this show, anything about this world, anything about this train, but you kind of get everything you need to know in that first little beginning of the episode. And just seeing this kid having to fight off these cops and, like you said, meet the deer and whatnot, and talk to this kid who also is trying to get the deer. It's like, okay, it's a decent introduction. It's a decent introduction to a new story. Okay, that's the main positive. Like it doesn't make any new viewer feel like an outsider. Negatives?
Hmm.
Ah, you see, I don't want to say because, like I said, 10, 15 minutes, is a short time, but I can also say, you can also argue that they did have a decent amount of stuff happen in the amount of time that they had. And not to mention that the story will continue throughout the next episode. It's not a one and done story. Okay, this is going to continue in the next episode. But, I mean, could you say they accomplished a little bit more throughout this episode? Perhaps, I guess. But overall, it was a decent episode. Okay, no complaints really from me. Um, it could have done a tad bit more, but it's not hurting the episode in my opinion.
See,
So I'm gonna give this.
I think though, and um, I think the time, I don't think the episode would have been as good if they tried to add more because I think they were going, because like I said, they were trying, especially this being the first episode, I think they were trying to portray her emotions and feelings more. And I think
True,
that's what they were
true.
doing, like with the
And
deer and all that other shit.
yeah, and I was gonna mention too. I was
So I
gonna
think they
like
did a
maybe.
lot. I guess you could say in terms they, and it's kind of like because we talked about Snoopy when it's Thursday, and how they literally did not. And these were, well, I guess about 3 minutes, but these are about the same time. Because like what I'm saying is, in that episode, just nothing happened just for the
No,
sake
you're
of
right.
nothing happening. In
You're
this
right. You're
episode,
absolutely right.
I mean, granted, a lot of shit did happen. They had a full-on action scene, and a lot of stuff happened. But I think this one, a lot happened in terms of character in this episode.
Yeah, most definitely. And I like I could argue that the deer talking scene would probably went on a tad, but you know what? You did point out that that was for her character development, which is true. And because I watch cartoons purely for the enjoyment. I'm not gonna sit here in front and say, oh yeah, I'm this big cartoon reviewer, because I ain't shit. I watch that shit just to say, oh yeah, I liked it. Maybe I didn't like it, but you did point out a damn good point just to show her emotions. That was that scene, like with her talking to the deer. And I would have said, before you said that, maybe that scene would have went on too long, but that scene did have its purpose, which is good.
And,
Obviously, it's damn good.
and see,
Um,
there's nothing wrong with you thinking that because, like you said, you're not familiar with the series. So because let's say for example, your review for a Rick and Morty episode is gonna be a lot different for a SpongeBob episode because you
oh yeah,
expect more from Rick and Morty. So you're gonna be
oh
looking for
yeah,
those things I just mentioned.
yeah, most definitely, most
And
definitely.
and I would say this show is that kind of show where like because I really think and I have a strong suspicion you are going to, even though like it's rare for you to actually go and watch things. I
Don't
feel
say
like you
that. I
probably
do. I do watch a lot of shit, man.
you probably are gonna go. I do feel like you probably are gonna go and watch the first season, and you're gonna really see that like they lean into like the themes and emotions and all that other shit a lot in the show. So you're gonna come to expect the same shit that I just pointed out.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Overall, though, to get in my review, like I said, this show did not make me feel like an outsider. It didn't make me be like, oh man, this is gonna be something new. Maybe I won't like it. Maybe I will. It actually made me like it. It explained the world a very good deal at the beginning, which I definitely, obviously appreciate because new viewer. But like you said, the action scene was pretty cool. I like how they did that. I feel like that was animated very, very well. Um, you gotta love that judo. I see with that judo throw, that fucking rebound off the ground. That was like whoa, and like that's really sticking out to me now. I'm like, okay, yeah. So animation on point, obviously, but
Hmm.
they did accomplish a lot in the little time that they had, especially compared to that Snoopy episode. I probably should have gave that a lot lower rating. I gave that a 5.5, but this I'm gonna hit this with a nice solid 7. I think it's a deserving of a nice solid 7. What do you think?
Um, I think that, and this is something I want to mention because you made like that reference to Adult Swim. Now, this isn't an Adult Swim show, but now I don't know if I would necessarily say that they. Well, then again, I guess you could probably say they did because they pretty much made references to killing and shit. Because this is a PG show, and
Okay.
they really take full advantage of that PG rating a lot. So like it's what I'm saying is they have a lot of adult ish themes in it. So it basically what I'm saying is it isn't very kiddie at all.
Right.
Um, so that's a big plus to the show in general for me, if you ask me. I
Oh
don't know
yeah,
about
yeah.
you, but
No, definitely do. It makes it feel more adult. And I just don't even think it feels PG to me. Like when you think PG, obviously it's not you won't think Y7, but
hmm
you think it's a show for kids. Us being adults, and it kind of sounds weird when you put it that way. Adults are watching cartoons. You wouldn't think you enjoy this that much. But honestly, this is a really good show. I'm not even gonna stunt. Like this episode, like I said, it made me want to go back and watch episode 1. It doesn't have that weird hot kitty feeling like Arthur or something may have. Granted, those are two totally different scales, but still, like I said, I think this is a very good episode. But continue.
No, but yeah, like I said, that is like that adult theme, and like, and I'm gonna tell you this because like this is established in the very first scene of the very first episode. Like the first season pretty much deals a lot with Tulip's reaction to her parents getting a divorce, which
Mm.
which you don't see in episodes like SpongeBob and shit like that. So that alone should tell you like where they're willing to go with the shit.
Oh yeah.
But but anyway, I ramble long enough. I listen. I just fell in love with the show today. I by some miracle found it today, so I just have a lot to say about it today. But I'll give. I think I'll give the episode. I think I'll give the episode the same as you, a nice 7, especially like with my comparison to the other episodes, and plus like I think they did a really good job with starting off the season, and
Oh yeah.
the emotion was really there, and the action scene was really good, the character build was really good, but I could tell a lot more great shit is on the horizon, so I'm gonna give it a 7.
All right. I'm gonna check it out for sure. But I'm the cartoon kid Ray Rawlins. He is Alex Payne, and this is the Cartoon Kid channel. We talk cartoons and we do it daily, baby. This has been our review of Infinity Train season 2, episode 1. And as always, I'm gonna ask y'all, what do you guys think of this episode, man? Drop your opinions down in the comments box below. Tell us if you like it. Tell us if you hate it, and tell us if you have anything or any suggestions for shows to review for our first impressions or new this week segments or even random review segments, man. We be talking about old shows on the random review segments that we reviewed previously. So if you got any suggestions, man, toss them bad boys down in the comments box below, and we'll review an episode that you guys tell us to review. But with all that being said, we will see you tomorrow for Courage the Cowardly Dog. Peace out, everybody.